You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Welcome to the Hella Well with Danielle podcast, your weekly mental vacation for the busy woman from the daily grind who just needs a moment to pause, breathe, and woosah, because sometimes life be lifing and it feels hard. It feels so difficult because hardships are real. And I think we know our lives have been far from easy. See, the journey we go on, the journey that we all go on, you can't put that into words. And what I've learned to realize is that all of us have undergone things in our lives that no one else will ever understand. Only our eyes have ever seen, or only our hearts have ever felt that experience. As a result of it, we can feel like we're alone on the journey, a sense of a direction's only us going. And in those moments, it's hard to step forward and become something better. But the reality of the situation is, in hardship or not, everybody undergoes challenges. Everybody is going to undergo difficulties, the process of life. That was a quote from the lyrics of a song by Facesoul called Empowerment. And as I was driving home today, Spotify decided to play the song for me, and it was such a fitting song because I was just like, why does it feel so lonely when you're going through some hardships, when you're going through challenges in your life? Why do you feel so alone? And I want to preface this by today's conversation isn't a kumbaya moment of, just breathe it through and you'll be okay. No, that's not always the case. It may be the case for some, but it's not always the case. This isn't an episode on, just have faith and life will be okay. I feel like so many of us are going through some stuff right now, and it feels hard. It feels lonely. It feels like crap. And we feel like we're literally been thrown into a room or a maze and it's pitch black and we've been told to find our way out. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm like, why do I feel like I'm the only one going through this? But the reality of it is, we are going through our own form of hardship that's unique to each and every one of us. But what's not unique to us is that we're going through a hardship. Everyone's going through a hardship. Any person you can think of is going through a hardship. No matter how rich, no matter their ethnicity, their gender, their sexual orientation, everyone goes through hardships. That is our shared experience. That's one thing that every human goes through, hardships. And it for our own good for most of the part, I like to think. I like to think of things that have happened that felt hard and challenging have taught me something. They've got me to where I am today. Doesn't mean I always enjoyed every one of them, because no, I didn't. Because what I didn't enjoy is feeling that feeling of loneliness. And that often happens is because when we get into these moments of hardships, we're like, oh, well, no one should know. I can't tell anyone because what will people think about me? They'll think less of me. So we begin to withdraw. Sometimes it's because we're like, oh, I don't want to burden anyone. I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed of the situation. Or simply, honestly, because oftentimes hardships just are emotionally draining and we don't have the energy to share with other people. We don't have the energy to be around other people or to hear anyone else's hardship. So we withdraw. But the thing is about withdrawing is you're just exasperating the feeling of loneliness that comes with hardships. And it's hard because we feel like no one's going to get it. My hardship is so unique, and it is unique. It's unique to you. But the empathy that a lot of us can have when we're able to express and connect with other people around this topic of hardship is that we've all been through something. But there's this perception of a lack of empathy that someone would have that, again, keeps us in this withdrawal moment of not wanting to share where we are, or we feel like we need to compare what we're going through with someone else is going through. And that's the last thing, because what I'm going through is different than what you're going through. And one's not better or worse than the other. A hardship is a hardship. There is no award for this is my dun, 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 dun. You get the award for the best hardship of 2024 January. No, there's no award. There's no comparison. This comparison can only amplify these feelings of feeling lonely because we're comparing from one from the other. And oftentimes when we're comparing, we're saying, well, oh, what I'm going through is not as hard as what someone else is going through. You know, Ava is going through a divorce and she has 2 kids. One is autistic and she's having problems financially with other things. Whereas I'm just going through this hardship of the fact that I'm feeling lonely because I'm not dating someone. I'm feeling lonely because it's winter and I don't have a car, whatever it is. But we start comparing like the difference between what we're going through and what someone else is going through. And then we minimize our feelings. We minimize the emotions that we're going through. And that just makes us feel more and more alone. And I hate that feeling. And I hate the feeling that I've allowed myself to feel. And I felt like, oh my God, I feel I can't tell anyone what I'm going through. And so I've kind of moved away from things and moved away from people. And it's funny because part of this song talks about hardship can be easy. Or there's ease with hardship. And I was just like, sure, there's no ease with hardship. There's no ease with hardship. And I thought about it. I was like, okay, he doesn't talk about it. He talks about faith and having hope. And I was like, yeah, no. What I can say that helps ease the hardship is being able to acknowledge that you have it rather than denying it or fighting against it, which I'm notorious for. Because I can think of something right now that I'm like, yeah, I keep trying to act like, and I'm not even not keeping it away from other people. I'm keeping it away from myself. I'm denying that it's there. I'm like, if I deny that I'm having this hardship to myself, maybe it will just resolve itself. Maybe it will just go away on its own. And I know that to be not the case. But I know like when I'm able to acknowledge the feelings that I'm able then to move through something. Because if you don't acknowledge something, it's really hard to move through something. And also goes back to seeking that support. Like, I get that it may feel embarrassing, it may feel shameful, but finding someone, not necessarily to ask advice for unless that's what you want, but sometimes it's really powerful just to be able to verbalize this. To say, hey, I don't need you to do anything but listen to me because I just need to get this out. I just need to have this vibrate into the universe that this is what I'm going through. This is where I am. There's power in that vocalization of going through things. And reaching out, honestly, is not a sign of weakness. It really is a step forward in coping in a better way. To get to a better place, which is what we all want, is to get to a better place. I know for me, what has helped hardship feel, quote unquote, a little bit easier is meditation. And I know I say this all the time. I'm like, meditation, breath work, it's everything. But I can tell you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I've been like, girl, bye. Like, I just didn't understand when people would always talk about how meditation was such an amazing thing. It didn't make sense to me until I really started doing it. And I was like, yo, this stuff really works. This stuff really works. It has shifted my mind and how I show up and how I'm able to move through challenges quicker. And so I feel like the infomercial behind it, but yo, all I can tell you is it works. Now I understand why people would say these things. And so maybe that's not for you, but finding something that works for you. Maybe it's a hobby. Maybe it's taking a walk. Well, it's a little cold outside for most of you, but whatever it is, find something that can help you, bring you some joy, some relaxation, something that will help you can be in the present moment and that will help you reduce your anxiety. Whatever it is, I just needed you to know today that you're just not alone. I needed you to know that you are not alone. That's what I got for you today. I hope this helps. I mean, I know sometimes it may not give you any solace to hear that you're not alone. Maybe some of the ways that I've gone through, easing through some of the challenges I've gone through will help. But my wish for you is that you feel that you're not alone. It's interesting. So the beginning of the song, I didn't start with the beginning of the song because part of me was like, BS. He starts off with this part that says, what does it say? We might not know which way to go, and you might stumble, trip and fall. But if you have faith, you'll make it through it all. You will. You gotta believe you'll make it through. You gotta believe you'll make it through. You gotta believe we'll make it through. I can't believe in everything, but what I can believe in, and what I hope you can believe in too, is that you will make it through this. You've made it through so many other hardships and challenges in your life. You will make it through this. And it's the belief. That belief that you can make it through, and maybe that's the faith that he's talking about. I guess it is faith. I'm like, guess I do have faith. Like, I don't know the answers to everything, and I don't know the answers to help you. But what I do know is that A, we're not alone, and B, we're going to make it through this. We got this. Not because you're resilient, because we weren't meant to stick in these situations. We're meant to get through them and continue growing. And that faith in that and the receipts of that happening time and time and time again in my life has got me to become a believer that I don't know how I'm going to get through some of this stuff. I don't know how you're going to get through some of this stuff, but we will. On that note, I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.